May here. We are going to be tackling Hargow today, also known as crystal dumplings. So this is obviously a super popular dim sum dish, very iconic. And it's also one of the hardest dumplings to make. I used to teach this in part of my dim sum class, and I have completely removed it just because it frustrates a lot of people, just because especially when you go to a class, you expect to be able to master something. But this dough is very easy to make, but extremely hard to work with because there's no gluten in it whatsoever. So people expect it to behave like a regular dough if they worked with dough before. It has zero stretch, so you have to be super delicate with it. So to get into it, we are gonna make the dough first, as always. So we have 100 grams of wheat starch here. So wheat starch is not the same as all-purpose flour. They're not replaceable at all, or you can't use one for one. So wheat starch is just the wheat component of flour, with all the other components removed, such as gluten. I guess just the proteins removed. So it's just the starch portion of all-purpose flour. And then I also have 100 grams of tapioca starch in here as well. Some people also use potato starch or cornstarch. So wheat starch and either potato starch, cornstarch, or tapioca starch. You can use those. I'm using tapioca today. And we need boiling water. So this is 100% hydration dough, and the boiling water helps hydrate this a lot faster as well. And just a touch of cooking oil here. I have some canola, just a squeeze. And I'm gonna pour in my hot water. And obviously you're not gonna get your fingers in there, it's hot boiling water. You can see that the starches start to cook right away, becomes clear. And you're just gonna mix everything. And some people may need to wait for this to cool down before they get their hands in there. This dough doesn't require a lot of kneading, again, because there's no starch, or there's no, sorry, not starch, but gluten in there. So there's no gluten formation, therefore the kneading time is greatly reduced. All right, so I'm gonna start getting my hands in here. I'm gonna punch it down first. Eventually I will turn this out onto the counter. Just want to make sure I get everything in here with it. And if it feels a little sticky, then you just need a couple extra pinches of either tapioca or wheat starch. I'm just gonna work with it for now, although it is a little bit sticky. All right, so if it feels a little bit sticky, mine's feeling a little bit sticky here, so I just have some extra wheat starch here. I'm gonna introduce a little bit more, and as long as it doesn't stick anymore, we're just gonna begin kneading. And kneading this is extremely easy, just because again, it's not tough or anything. It's not gonna be strong. It's very pliable, very, very easy to knead. Always have your bench scraper handy. But the dough comes together instantly. Again, if it sticks, just introduce a little bit of wheat starch. So unlike all-purpose flour, wheat starch is just the starch component, so just the wheat germ. So none of the bran, none of the protein. So just always have extra wheat starch on hand, just in case your ball of dough gets really, really sticky. But I'm at a point now where it's no longer sticking to my board. All right, so we don't need to rest this dough. We just need to cover it though, because it still can dry out. So you never want dough to dry out. So just cover it in plastic while you're making your filling. We're moving on to the filling now. Filling is super, super simple. Do you see kind of like a pattern here with simple fillings come difficult folds and dough work? So here is just shrimp that is peeled and deveined. There's no need to buy like big, beautiful jumbo shrimp or anything here. Just buy small shrimp just because you're chopping it up finely anyways. And chopping up big, beautiful, giant shrimp is just, there's no need for it, you know? All right, so I'm just gonna roughly chop this up. If you want to do this in a food processor, go for it, so much faster. But then you also have to clean your food processor. I'm not a big fan of dishes, so. So you want some pieces that are super fine and some pieces that, you know, might be a bit bigger. That will just impart more texture into your Hargow. Some people like to add finely chopped pork fat in here, or finely chopped water chestnuts or bamboo shoots. I'm just keeping it super, super classic today. Just shrimp and a little bit of seasoning. So as you can see, it's not uniform. There are some really fine pieces and some larger pieces in there too, which is what you're going for. So this is the texture here. We're gonna throw it back into the bowl. If you do all large pieces, you'll see that, you know, the shrimp doesn't stick together. The super fine pieces of shrimp ensure that the filling is cohesive. That's all the chopping that is required for this recipe, just chopping your shrimp. With our shrimp finely chopped, what we'll do now is we'll just season, and like I said earlier, we're keeping it super, super simple. So as always, salt, pepper, touch of sugar, sesame oil, roasted sesame oil for the most flavor. And you're just gonna mix that up. If you're unsure of your seasoning, what you can do is, again, just take a small piece, about a teaspoon of this filling, pop it in the microwave, give it a taste, and adjust if necessary. I'm pretty confident in my seasoning abilities because I do this all the time. That's it. So that's what our nice mixed filling looks like. If your filling seems a little wet for whatever reason, just because maybe you didn't drain your shrimp very well, what you can do is you can just add about a teaspoon of cornstarch or potato starch, and then it helps absorb that moisture and pull your filling all together. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna divide up our ball of dough. There's no sense of working with a huge amount of dough. I'm gonna further divide it. Whatever you're working with, not working with, always cover. We're gonna roll this into kind of a tube. We cannot put this through a pasta machine and cut rounds out of it. It's just not in the nature of the dough to do so. We're gonna divide it up. Small pieces. And then I like to roll them into little balls. With each one of our balls, just coat them liberally in our wheat starch, flatten it with the palm of your hand, and then you're gonna roll them out. These take no effort whatsoever to roll out. They're super soft. This shape will do whatever you want it to, or this ball of dough. We're gonna take some of our filling, place it in the center. You don't wanna overfill these, otherwise it's gonna be very difficult to fold. And you're just gonna pleat. And most of the shaping, and you wanna be extremely gentle. Most of the shaping for this is just afterwards, where just kind of pinch the wrapper so it becomes nice and thin again. That one has a pretty large bonnet. So there's no pleating in the back. The pleats are all in the front, right there. Alright, so to cook these up, what we're going to do is we're just going to place them in a steamer with some parchment paper. Parchment paper is 100% necessary. And steamer's already going. So the great thing about shrimp is shrimp will tell you when they're done cooking. They will change color from the blue-gray to a nice pink orange. Let's give this a try. I deserve them. They were extremely difficult to make and form. I have my trusty dim sum hot sauce here. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you take a stab at this and attempt to make these delicious Hargow.